Alright, hi, hello, this is multiplying and dividing by powers of 10. So, when we think about this, we need to remember what it means to multiply by numbers greater than 1, or by 1, and greater than 1, and numbers that are less than 1. Remember, when we multiply by something less than 1, our answer is going to be less. Okay, because we're saying, what is 1/100th of 34? What is 10 100ths or 1/10 of 34? What is 1 of 34? One set. What is a tenth of a set? What is 100th of a set? Okay, and just like with the stuff like our numbers move. Okay, our digits move. And so how do they move? Well, when I see multiplying by a power of 10, which is any digit that just has a 1 or zeros, 1 and zeros, 1, 1, and then zeros. There, I think that's right. So any number that has a 1, and then the rest of the digits in that number are zeros, that I think would be a power of 10. I don't think I'm saying anything incorrect there. So this is 34 times 100th. And what that means is that this number is going to shift down 2 spots. So this is actually going to be 34 hundredths. My 3 is going to go from the tens to the ones to the tenths. My 4 is going to go from the tenths to the... And where's this decimal point? The decimal point, it's to the right of 4. It always is. All numbers end with a decimal point. We just don't write them if they're a whole number. And like the other video said, we have an infinite amount of zeros to the right, infinite amount of zeros to the left. So there's a 0 here. So that's where that 0 came from. That 0 shifted from the hundreds to the tens and ones. So it shifted 2 places too. Okay. 34 times 1/10. So what's 1/10 of 34? Well, that's 3 4/10. Because 3 4/10 times 10 is 34. 0.34 times 100 is 34. Okay. All right. 34 times 1. That's just one set of 34. 34 times 10. That's 340. 34 times 100. 3,400. And 34 times 1,000, 34,000. Again, where do these zeros come from? Where's this 0? Where are these zeros? Where are these? They're to the right of 34. So we have 34 decimal point and a ton of zeros, infinite amount of zeros. So those zeros come from the right side of the decimal point. Like division is the opposite, right? So when we divide with a number that is more than 1, our answer shrinks. When we divide by a number less than 1, our answer grows. Okay. So here we're going to have the same answers, okay? Different in different areas. Close to the same answers. So 34 divided by 1 is 34. Here, 34 divided by 1,000. So what this is telling us is that the 3 and the 4 are going to shift to the right 3 spots. So 3 spots, if I know I have the tens, and then I have the ones, I have the decimal point, tenths, hundredths. So my number in the 10 is going to go 1, 2, 3. So it's going to wind up in the hundredths. And if my 3 ends up in the hundredths, then my 4 ends up in the thousands. So 34 divided by 1,000 is 34 thousandths. So that means there are 1,000 34 thousandths in the number 34. Cool. 34 divided by 100. Again, so that my number in the 10th is going to shift 2 spots, 1, 2 to the 10ths. So there are 134ths in 34. 34 divided by 10, my number is just going to shift once, 1 spot. So 3 4/10. So there are 10 3 4/10 in the number 34. 34 divided by 1, 34. 34 divided by 0.10. So this means it's going to expand. Okay, it's going to expand by 1 factor of 10. So this is 340. So this is asking how many thousands are in 34? Well, 0.034 of 1,000 is in 34. How many hundreds are in 34? Well, 0.34 of 1 is in, or 0.34 of 100 is in 34. How many tens are in 34? 3.4. How many ones are in 34? 34 of them. Is that right? How many tens? Yeah, 10. 3.4 tens are in 34. How many 10 hundredths are in 34? 340. And how many 1000s are in 134? 3,400. Okay, so fun stuff. What patterns do you notice in the equations you completed above? Well, like I talked about, we're shifting place value. We can see what 34 times 100 and 34 divided by 1 and 100, so that's the same answer. Okay, so 34 divided by 0.01, so how many 100ths are in 34 is the same way as thinking how many, if I had 100 cents of 34. If I had 100 cents of 34, and how many hundredths are in 34, same answer. Same with 10 and tenths. Same with, if I have, see, this is tenths of 34. How many tens are in 34? Okay, so those are the patterns that we see. Solve the multiplication division problems. So this is kind of transferring what we did up there in a new way. 62 divided by 100. So my numbers are going to shift at 2 spots. So I have 0 and 62 hundredths. 3.4 times 1,000. So my 3 is going to shift 1, 2, 3 spots to the left. So is my 4. So 3,400. 7 and 89 hundredths divided by 0.10. So dividing by a number less than 1, my number is going to increase. It's going to increase by 1 place value to the left. So I'm going to have 78 and 89. Oh wait, sorry, 78.9. So there are 78 and 9 tenths in 7.89. 0.43 times 100, so my spots are going to move 2 spots to the left. So I'm going to go from the tenths to the tens. 0.08 times 0.01. So I'm multiplying by something less than 1, so I'm going to have a smaller number. This is actually going to shift 2 spots to my right, so I'm going to actually get, no, that's 1, 2. So it's going to go from the hundredths to the 10,000ths. So if I'm looking at 1/100th of 8 hundredths, it's actually 8 thousandths. There are 108 thousandths in the number 8 hundredths. And 123 and 5 hundredths divided by 100. All of my numbers are going to shift to the right 2 times. So my 1's going to go from the hundreds to the 1's. So I have a 1 with a decimal point, and all these digits still exist, so I can't just get rid of the 5. So I have 2, 3, 0, 5. And then we end with, word problem. Ramon bought erasers shaped like animals to give away at family night at his school. Each eraser cost 10 cents. If he spent $25.60, how many erasers did he buy? Write a division equation to represent the situation. So you could say it's 25/60 divided by 0.10. If I wanted to write that just in regular numbers, and again, if I go up here, when I'm doing dividing by 0.10, my number is shifting to the left. So it's going to be more than 25 and 6. This is going to be more than 25.6 erasers. Use it to solve the problem. That makes sense to me. So if I have, do I need to show my work? I mean, I didn't have to show my work up here. I mean, if you understand what you're doing here, then you know that it's 256 erasers. And as long as you set your equation up like this, then I would accept that. Okay, 256 erasers. Bye.